Yo, what's up guys? You got Ace here, and today I'm bringing you week 3 of the NPL majors. This week we play against Blake, aka MoxieInfernape of the Baltimore Braviaries, and he is, in my opinion, one of the best drafts in the league. Definitely one of Jake's favorites, so it's going to be a little bit tough to get around that, and he's been doing really well too. He won his week 1. Then got hacked by Merc, I think. So I haven't watched the replays really, but I think that's what happened. So we'll see how it goes. His team is Mew, Z-Infernape, Crocodile, Metagross, Milotic, Mega Pidgeot, Z Whimsicott, Quillfish, Electros, Zygarde 10%, and Abomasnow. While my team is Mega Gallade, Z Thundurus, Togekiss, Alolan Muck, Latios, Empoleon, Darmanitan, Z Mismagius, Seismitoad, Stunfisk, Lickitung, and Sceptile. So the first mon I put on here was Mega Gallade. Mega Gallade is really important against this team because it's a very good breaker against most of his mons. Obviously Mew is going to be a switch into this. It comes in, it switches into a decent amount of my hits. And since it's not Z Mew, I'm free to run knockoff rather than X Scissor since it does more and knocks off items. As well as just, it's more annoying for his team in general than X Scissor. Better move. Obviously this thing will never sweep, even though it's a setup set because he has a Mega Pidgeot. But nothing really I can do about that. Swords Dance is really there to break past Mew, not really to break his entire team. So it's kind of like SD Chomp in that regard, and because what SD Chomp does is it sets up an SD and then kills something, and then may or may not be useful for the rest of the game. So next I got this Stunfisk. Stunfisk is important as a Mega Pidgeot switch in. You might wonder why I'm Fizz Def if I'm a Mega Pidgeot switch in. Basically, I switch into Mega Pidgeot so well that I don't need the Spadef EVs to switch into Mega Pidgeot, but the Fizdef EVs are a lot more important for me to take other hits from his team. Like, I want Fizdef EVs to take stuff from Infernape, to take a hit from like Crocodile or Zygarde, to take hits from Metagross, because this is like my main Metagross switching on this team. So, the four moves that Stunfisk pretty much always runs: Stealth Rock, Discharge Earth Power, Toxic, pretty self-explanatory, and Max. Third mon, Empoleon, again pretty self-explanatory. 3 max defense with Shuca Berry. Shuca Berry pretty important because a lot of my team doesn't like taking hits from Crocodile's EQ or Zygarde's arrows, especially Zygarde's arrows. Because against Crocodile, I have stuff like Togekiss to be able to counter it, but Zygarde's arrows are a lot harder for me to switch into since my arrows resist is Sceptile, and Sceptile isn't that good. So we got Empoleon for that. Scald Ice Beam hits his old team, and then Defog gets rid of his rocks. That will be important for my team. And Toxic hits his mons like Milotic and Mew. Toxic is extra nice for Mew because he can't synchronize it on to make some Steel type. Then we have Togekiss. It's very Scarf Togekiss. It's my best Revenger against him. You might look to my team and say, wow, you have a lot of good Revengers. Darmanitan, possibly like Scarf Mismagius, Thundurus, stuff like that, but Togekiss was a lot better than all of them because it outspeeds Mega Pidgeot, and it does a lot more to Ape than any of them. So Air Slash doesn't have great Air Slash switch-ins. It's just like Electros and Metagross are his only flying resists, so because of that I can just be Fire Blast, Trick, and then my last move is Dazzling Gleam just to hit Zygarde 10 and 8 and Crocodile for more. This Latios is pretty fast with Wish Protect, Dragon Pulse, Toxic. Wish to keep mons like Empoleon and Stunfisk alive for the late game. Especially if Empoleon gets like below 50 and still has his Shuckleberry intact. I can use Wish to make my Empoleon still a check to Crook and stuff like that. And then, lastly, I have this physical Bulk Up Thundurus. Bulk Up Rest with Chesterberry. He has like 3 Intimidate users. Well, he has Crocodile, Qwilfish. Is that it? I guess 2, but anyway, he's a lot of Intimidate. And Crocodile is like a pretty decent switch into Thundy, so Defiant is kind of a nice lure for that. Defiant Superpower. And then Bulk Up has a setup move because it's kind of hard for him to kill me at +1. Like, the only mon on his roster that naturally outspeeds me, well, the only 2 mons are Mega Pidgeot and Whimsicott, and they don't really do a lot to me. And I do a lot, and I obviously just kill Mega Pidgeot. Whimsicott's a little more annoying, but whatever. It's not doing a lot to me with Moonblast. So that's the team. It not quite as refined as some of my other teams. I built it kind of quick, but it's a pretty solid team, and I'm happy with it. Hopefully Stunfisk will be putting in the work. So let's get right into the replay. Let us change the size on that. Whoops. There we go. Alright, so you can see he actually brought the Abomasnow, which I didn't prep for at all, because it's kind of a bad mon. Also the Qwilfish, which I didn't think would do much except set hazards, and I brought Defog on Empoleon, so I should be okay there. So I decide, okay, he's probably going to lead Qwilfish, so Empoleon is a fine lead, just so I can whittle him down with Scald. Scald is a decent chunk, and go for Defog as he goes for hazards. So I do lead with Empoleon as he leads with Qwilfish. Let me switch sides real quick. Yeah, I just start going for Scalds right away to start wearing this thing down. He goes for Taunt my Scald. And now that I'm taunted, I don't want to start setting up hazards and then taunting on my Defog. So I just go right into my Thundurus to threaten this thing out immediately. And he reveals Revenge. So good thing I didn't Scald there, because I would have taken a lot from that Revenge. So now I know he's probably not like a dual hazard set, because he has Taunt Revenge, and then he probably has some sort of stab. So that's good information on this Qwilfish. Glad I scouted that. And now he's in sort of a pickle here. He switches out into Mew as I go for my Bulk Up. I don't really want to get, I don't know, I can't really break past this thing right now. So I switch back into Empoleon. I was still pretty scared of what Mew could carry, because if he's like an Ice Beam, and especially more of an offensive Mew, then I could have lost my Thundurus there, and I obviously don't want that to happen. So go into Empoleon to scout for that. Scout for Willow as well. But he just goes for Thunderbolt, which is interesting to me because unless he was predicting Empoleon there, that might have been his only move to hit Thundurus. So that's sort of thinking about that for the late game. So he goes for Thunderbolt and it's revealed defensive damage. Or actually, I believe, I don't know, that's sort of like a mid amount of damage. I believe after the game he was revealed to be a few EVs in special attack and then modest. So I don't know, sort of took from that what I will. That he's probably a weird EV set. So going to Latios on a predicted Thunderbolt, try to pass a Wish back into Empoleon. He goes for his rocks. Go for my Wish. He reveals Shadow Ball, which is fine, it only does 31. And I just switch back into Emp because I can take a Thunderbolt anyway. And it's great because he allows me to get it for free. He has to scout whatever Empoleon set I am here. He doesn't know. So he switches back out into Mew on my Scald, and then I can just go for a Toxic here. Or I guess I go for a Defog. Either way, I sort of just stay in with this Empoleon. Like, Whimsicott obviously can't touch me, so I can just go for a Toxic or Ice Beam on it. Goes back into Mew. I just go for my Toxic here. Because losing 50 on this Empoleon is a lot less important than Toxic in the Mew, because Latias can get a wish on this Empoleon pretty easily on most things. So now I believe he's revealed 4 moves: Stealth Rock, Soft Boiled, Thunderbolt, and Shadow Ball. So I know that my Latias mono walls this, and that my Stunfisk mono walls this. So I can just go hard Stunfisk and set up my rocks on this thing. As you can see, I'm not even Spadef invested, and that does 18, so get up my rocks. He goes into Whimsicott, and go into Togekiss, takes any of its hits easily, and he doesn't have a flying resist, so he has to play very carefully around the Scarf Togekiss. He doesn't know I'm Scarf yet, and from the Energy Ball damage, he may think I'm bulky because I have a ton of HP investment. So I stay in, I go for Air Slash, and he stays in and dies. So that's great for me. This means that Thundy will get to put in a lot more work late game. Gallade has nothing to revenge it from full, which is huge. So let's continue. He decides to go into Crook, which is fine. I thought that play was a little bit weird because most Crooks are 2 KO by Air Slash, and he needs to flinch, but I'm not going to risk it anyway because I died at Stone Edge, like Adamant Stone Edge. So he goes for Knockoff, which is a pretty crazy play. I sort of considered the 3 moves I was pretty sure he had, like Earthquake, Knockoff, and Stone Edge. Obviously Stone Edge for Togekiss, because the other 2 moves don't hit Togekiss. I was thinking, okay, he might go for Earthquake, predicting Empoleon on a Stone Edge. That's option number 1. Option number 2 is he stays in and goes for Stone Edge, just to kill my Togekiss, because I might just try to fish for flinches. And lastly, I thought Knockoff was the least likely option of those 3. So I go into Latias, thinking this is a Scarf Crook, and I can just wish up on its non-knockoff moves. And he just goes for Knockoff. So I lose my Latias to a missed prediction, which sucks. But it's okay since my Empoleon is still at full, so I didn't really need the wish. Latias goes down. I bring in Gallade because he's locked in a Knockoff, and if he's not Scarf, he just dies. So I just go for my close combat as he goes into Mew. And now he's in knockoff range. Even if he's Colbur, he's in knockoff range, as he turns out to be the Colbur Berry set. And he goes Qwilfish. So I'm thinking, again, this is a strange play, like many of the plays he's been making this game. Obviously, this Qwilfish is going to die to Zen Headbutt, which I do carry. But he might be Pyoppa Berry. And judging from the way Blake's played this game up to this point, he's not the type to bluff Pyoppa Berry. I think he actually has it. And I don't want to take like Pyoppa Berry plus whatever crazy shit this Qwilfish has. So I just go hard Thunderous in order to scout for whatever this thing may carry. Oof, Chrome is doing its lag thing. So yeah. Okay. I kill the Mew. Go hard Thunderous to scout what this Qwilfish is going for. Thinking maybe a Waterfall. He goes for Explosion, so good thing I scouted for that, because I did not want to leave my Gallade in on an Explosion. So then he goes Zygarde to Revenge, and I just let this Thunderous go down because it's the most useless mon on my team at this point, because Wild Charge does nothing to anything, and I'm in range of Abomasnow's Eyes Shard. So Thunderous goes down, I go Togekiss, and Air Slash pretty much gives me a kill here. because if he stays in, I may flinch him. Well, I don't know. I can also go for Dazzling Gleam. Basically, Dazzling Gleam lets me kill this thing in one shot, or kill Crook. But Air Slash lets me do more to Abomasnow if he goes hard Abomasnow. So I go for Dazzling Gleam, just in case he wanted to keep Abomasnow around, but he goes Abomasnow, and that's fine. I go into Empoleon because I don't want to take an Ice Shard. Because if I took Ice Shard plus Hail, I'll be super low, and I don't want to be in range of Zygarde's E-Speed, because I want this Togekiss to be able to sweep late game. So Empoleon takes 2 Ice Shards easily, kills it with Ice Beam, and it still has his Shuckle left intact for Crook. So I just finally pop the Shuckle here. Well, actually, I don't, because he goes for knockoff. I guess sort of a flex play knowing I had Shuckle, but either way, I get the burn, which means I'm able to live the Earthquake, but it doesn't matter since Togekiss just went for 2 Dazzling Gleams and cleaned this game up. So, GG to Blake. Felt like a really solid win for me. I'm really glad I was able to win pretty decisively in week 3, and I'm hoping that carries to week number 4 where I play Verd. So, GG, well played, Blake. You brought a team I was not expecting at all with some very cool sets that just didn't go your way. So that's too bad, but I will see you guys next week. Bye.